Okay, so if you watched the two videos, this warm-up should have been easy. Based off of the packets that I'm seeing and how we started, we may or may not have watched the videos. So let's have a quick review. Scientific notation is in the form of A multiplied by 10 to the nth. There's a couple keys about scientific notation. First off, we have to multiply by the base 10. Okay? We have to multiply by the base 10. Everybody with me? So if it's times 4 to the 7th power, that's not the base 10. The other key is this n. N can be any integer. An integer is our counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and their opposites. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, so on and so forth. It also includes 0. So n can be any number that's not a fraction or a decimal. Eventually, it could be a fraction or a decimal, which is not for what we're doing. Everybody with me? But this guy right here is the most important. What does the first number have to be for us to have scientific notation? Bree.
It has to be over 1 or less than 10.
Okay, so not over 1. It has to be at least 1. So can it be 1? Yes. Can it be 2? Yes. Can it be 0.7 or 7/10? No. Has to be at least 1, but less than 10. And guess what I'd be doing? I see this group doing it. I love it. They're writing it down. We should be writing this down. Just so you know, you're all on video. Say hi. You don't really have to say hi, but you're not on video. I'm on video. You should be saying hi because don't shake your head at me, Camilla. Okay, so let's talk about these. We're going to go around the room. Letter A is 19 7/10 times 10 to the 4th. Charlie, do you think this is scientific notation? No. Why not? Yeah, it's bigger than 10. 19 is greater than 10. This is not. So this is a big old no. It's greater than 10. So right now, it says which are not written in scientific notation. Letter A is absolutely not written in scientific notation. Okay, Camilla. Where's my pen? There it is. Letter B, 1 97/100 times 10 to the 4th. Yes or no? Well, let's go back. Let's think what we have to know about A. Is it at least 1 or less than 10?
Yes.
Yeah, what's the first number?
1.
1. So this is at least 1. So we're good there because it's actually 1 97/100. Does it have a base of 10? Is this an integer? Is this scientific notation? Yes. That's scientific notation. Do you see how we're going to break this down and say, is this scientific notation? Okay, Chris, letter C, 197 thousandths times 10 to the 4th.
No, it's not.
Why?
Because it is less than 1.
Very good. No, because it is less than 1. What number would actually be in front of this decimal right now?
0.
Yeah, very good, man. It's a 0. Everybody's starting to see how we pick this up. Emma. Letter D. What do you think? Wait a minute, Emma. Wait, you said you're saying that so confident. No, Mr. H. So also, this is not scientific notation. You said no. Why? Because it's at least 1. So tell me why.
Because the base with the exponent is a 10.
Oh, Emma, can I tell you how proud of you I am for that language? The base with the exponent isn't 10. The exponent's 10, but the base is a 4. So, no, we did not multiply by 10. Emma, air 5. Bam. Great job. Charlie, she just crushed that. You crushed yours, but she really crushed that. You know why? Because she listened to yours first. Sibling rivalry, yay! Miss Tucker, do you have a sibling rivalry at all?
Yeah, I can explain.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister and I have a sibling rivalry too, mostly because I just don't like her winning at anything. Letter E. Leanna. Yes or no, and why?
Yes, because it's greater than, or it's at least 1 and it's less than 10. And then our base is 10.
That's perfect. It's perfect. It's at least 1. Our base is 10. We have an integer. Last but not least, Mr. Sidwell. Are you ready, sir? Letter F. Is this scientific notation?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me why.
Why?
Yes.
I just knew because it looks exactly like the one above it, except there's no negative on.
Okay, so Jaden, talk me through it, because let's look at this.
But also it's at least 1.
Okay, so it's at least
less
1.
than 10.
And it's what?
Less than 10.
Okay, it's at least 1 less than 10. What about the base, man?
The base?
Yeah, are we multiplying by 10?
No.
Oh, wait a minute. We're not multiplying by 10, so is it scientific notation, Jaden?
No.
No. So it does look really close. But because it's adding 10, not scientific notation. Does that make sense, kiddos and kidettes? Everybody with me? Yes? No? Maybe so? Okay. I'm going to take my mask off because I want you to see my expressions on my face. Because Miss Tucker and I talked about this last week even. You took your quiz on Thursday. I am super proud of you. Okay? It's not because necessarily of the grades. Even though the grades were very good, you all worked extremely hard at it. Sometimes math will click for certain people. Sometimes it takes a couple days and then it clicks. Math clicked for me. Miss Tucker?
No.
No, yours was a little bit, couple days, right? We've talked about this.
Yes.
Mrs. Tucker said, hey, it takes a couple days. But if you work as hard as you guys did on that quiz, eventually it's going to click. I don't care about the grade. I care about you understanding the math. And you will understand the math if you keep up that effort. I'm very proud of you. So I'm going to hand back your quizzes. To figure out your overall grade on the quiz, you take the numerator and you divide it by the denominator. That's who we're missing. We're missing Parker, too. Where is everybody? He's a cross-country, too, I think. So again, to figure out your grade. Yeah, this one's-
I saw Parker's name.
yeah, I saw him tweet. Was there anybody who did not get one back? Jaden, did you get one back?
No.
No?
Here that day.
Have you taken it?
No.
No, you have not. Okay, that means you need to take it, okay? So you need to set up either with resource or with me and come in and take it, okay, buddy?
Okay.
Okay. So, you can always ask questions on the quiz during our one-on-one time, during RISE. We come around, we check with you, right? So while you're working on group work, if you need to check it, you certainly can. Thank you. Okay, here we go. So, let me be very, very honest about how I'm teaching. Today is less us working in groups, more me kind of doing some notes. So I would get out a separate piece of paper because Engage New York does a great job getting you to understand word problems. But if we don't know how to do the actual problem itself, getting a word problem, trying to struggle through how we actually interpret it, and then doing the problem, it's not going to matter. So today I'm going to focus on just getting us to understand the problem itself. So, first and foremost, here's what we're going to start with. We are going to start with what's called standard form. Standard form is considered, and I've got notes for you in a second. Okay, hold on one second. Standard form is considered regular numbers. So, if I've got 2,100,000,000, this is in standard form. If I've got 3 and 50 or 3,570,000, go 35,700. These are in standard form. Okay? What do you think we're going to be changing standard form to today? What's going to be the goal of this lesson? What do we think we're changing them to? This is where you're going to look in your notes on your packet or what we just talked about for 10 minutes. Yeah. Scientific notation. So we're going to change standard form into scientific notation. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is talk with your group. We're going to come around and listen to your conversations. Figure out where does the decimal need to go in both of these numbers in order to get it into scientific notation. Where does the decimal need to go in order for that A? Because remember, scientific notation is in the form of A multiplied by 10 to the n. Okay. So go, talk to your group. Mr. Van Sills. Yes. Okay, is she dismissed or just for example? Thank you very much for that. Rating it to the office. So I should hear you guys talking. What are we going to put the decimal? Where are we putting that decimal? Okay, so tell them what you did and why. Talk it over. Come on. Okay, Leanna, you had it. I heard your explanation. It was brilliant. Can you tell me where I'm going to place the decimal? After the 2. So between the 2 and the 1. Do you agree there? So that leaves me with 2 and 1/10. Because remember, scientific notation needs to be at least 1, but less than 10. We also know that it has to be multiplying the base of 10. But how do we figure out what the exponent's going to be, Leanna? Don't let me down.
I counted all the numbers after the decimal.
How did you count them?
By bunny hop.
By bunny hopping. And if you've never bunny hopped, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. We're bunny hopping. We're bunny hopping from where the decimal is and counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we get 2 and 1/10 times 10 to the 9th. Does that make a little bit more sense now? Give me a thumbs up if we're like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So now, back to your group. Do the second one. Everybody should have it. Let's go. Oh, thank you. That's my job not to lose. Got it.
Yeah, well, I lost it like twice last week, so.
Okay, so group in the back. What do we come up with? Where's the decimal going to go? Charlie, where's the decimal going to go? Between what two numbers, man? Awesome job, Charlie. It goes between the 3 and the 5, so that leaves me with 3 and 57 hundredths. Mr. H, why don't I have to put zeros? Because we only put what's called significant digits. The significant digits after the decimal are only the numbers that are not 0. Okay? So we've got this. Charlie, times 10 to the what? 4th. Beautiful, brother. Because here's where the decimal went. 1 bunny hop, 2 bunny hop, 3 bunny 4. Questions, concerns, problems. So when I start giving you practice problems, this will be the first step, getting them into scientific notation. What will be step 2? Well, step 2 will be to multiply. So what are we multiplying? We are multiplying scientific notation. We are going to write out 2 and 1/10 times 10 to the 9th, multiplied by 3 and 57 hundredths times 10 to the 4th. Now, I have made the mistake in the past, and I've made the mistake today. And I try to be better every single day, every single hour. So I'm watching what I say. I find this next step easy. Does that mean you will? No, but I find the next steps easy. When I'm multiplying scientific notation, I need to take my portion that is not my bases. My bases are those tens. I'm going to take the 2 and 1/10, I'm going to take the 3 and 57/100th, and I group those. 2 and 1/10 multiplied by 3 and 57/100ths. What else do you think we will group? What else is there in this problem for us to group that looks the same? Liam.
Your bases.
The bases, which are these tens. So now I have 10 to the 9th multiplied by 10 to the 4th. Hey, Mr. H, didn't we just take a quiz where we were multiplying like bases? You're darn right. Yeah, we did. Like it's physically on your quiz. Emma, I know I'm throwing you on the spot, Emma. What do we do when we have like bases? Do we add the exponents? Do we multiply the exponents? Do we divide the exponents? What do we do?
You add the exponents?
Yes, you do, Emma. Air 5. Psh, good job. So we're going to add the exponents. We keep the base, and we add the exponents. Can you see that? Can you see that on there? Oh my gosh. I hate this. So it's time. I can't tell if it's going to be on there or not, guys. It's 10 to the 13th. But now we need to figure out this first part. How are we going to figure out the first part? Well, get your calculators. Physically pick up your calculators. This is everybody. Do 2 and 1/10 times 3 and 57/100ths. 2 and 1/10 times 3 and 57/100ths. Go. Raise your hand once you got it. It's a long way down. Ooh, I'm getting old. Mr. Sidwell, go for it, sir.
I don't really know how to pronounce it.
Okay, that's right. Just say
It's
7 point.
0.497. I need to remember how to pronounce
That's right.
decimals.
So 0.497. That's 497 thousandths.
Oh, 'cause it's like it'd be 1,000 if it doesn't.
That's the thousands. Yep, good. 7 and 497 thousandths times 10 to the 13th. Is this in scientific notation? Camilla, is it in scientific notation?
Sure.
Sure. Can somebody help Camille with why? Why is this in scientific notation? And I'm not calling on Leanna again. I need somebody else. Chris, why is this in scientific notation?
Because it is less than 10 and greater than 1.
Okay, so Camilla, A is less than 10 and at least 1, and we're multiplying by a base of 10 with an integer. So Camilla, why is this scientific notation?
Because it's bigger than 1 and less than 10.
Good enough. Okay, so step 1, we changed to scientific notation. Step 2, we multiply. Guess what we're going to do for step 3? Anybody want to take a wild guess? Chris? Chris. You guy. You got it. Nice work. So we're going to divide. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take 2 and 1/10 times 10 to the 9th. And we're going to divide it by 3 and 57/100ths times 10 to the 4th. Have I lost anybody yet? Jaden. Everybody with me still? Okay. So I want to rewrite this. And I'm going to rewrite this by breaking it in half. So again, I'm going to break it in half the same way that I did my multiplication. So I'm going to group together 2 and 1/10 divided by 3 and 57/100ths times 10 to the 9th divided by 10 to the 4th. Once again, I think these steps are easy. Get your calculator. Do 2 and 1/10 divided by 3 and 57/100ths. Emma, what'd you get? So take the 2 and 1/10, press divide, do 3.57. What'd you get? And you can say point.
We got 0.58 and a bunch of other numbers.
Okay, 0.58, and we'll leave it there. So 58 hundredths times 10 to the, hey, we just had a quiz on this. What do we do when we divide exponents? Do we add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Subtract. 9 minus 4 is 5. Okay, I'm almost done. Almost done. Is this in scientific notation? No. What would we need to put it into scientific notation? Chris?
It is less than 1.
It is less than 1, so where would we move the decimal? I love that you said that. That's great mathematical terminology, man. Sorry, I'm in the way. Where would you put the decimal? Let me stand up and get out the way for you.
You wouldn't, because to make it
Well, where could I put the decimal in this number so that it's in scientific notation?
behind the
So here, behind the 5 there? Okay, so I could make it 5 and 8 tenths times 10. Now, Chris, I moved the decimal from here on the left to which direction?
right.
To the right. Okay, so here's a note. Decimal moves right, subtract. Okay, decimal moves right, we subtract. Well, what are we going to subtract? This was 10 to the 5th, but we moved the decimal to the right, so guess what we're going to subtract? That exponent. How many bunny hops did we move it? 1. So how many are we going to subtract? And we get 5 and 8 tenths times 10 to the 4th. Okay, so I did that one. Now it's time for you guys to do some. I'm going to leave up all of number 2, all of number 3. I'm going to erase the standard form scientific notation. You are going to get 2 numbers, put them into scientific notation. You're going to multiply those 2 numbers. You're going to divide those 2 numbers. So here we go. Let's go. 41,000 even and 3,750. So 41,000, 3,750. I want to hear you discussing this. I want to hear you working together. I want to see what you come up with. Go. So your first step should be figuring out where does that decimal need to be. Okay, come on. I need to start hearing that conversation. Talk to your team. Once you get it, say, hey, here's where I'm putting the decimal and here's why. Let them know immediately. Okay, so pause where you're at. I'm going to give you some more time, but let's at least get number 1 done. So, Jaden, where's the decimal going in between for number 1?
Like, by number 1, you mean?
So scientific notation for this 41,000.
Between the 4 and the 1.
So you're telling me I should have 4 and 1/10?
Yeah.
Okay, times 10 to the what?
Times 10 to 4.
Good, love it. Okay, somebody from this group. Emma, what should the second one be?
Between the 3 and the 7.
Okay, and times 10 to the?
The 3rd.
Okay, so I should have 3 and 75/100ths times 10 to the 3rd. Give me a moose antler if you got those both correct. Okay, so now that you have that, you should be able to do the multiplication and the division. I'll give you 1 more minute. Go ahead. Work together. Okay, so by looking around, I'm seeing a lot of good work. Somebody, anybody, tell me how I'm going to group my multiplication. What things will I be multiplying in number 2? Jaden.
What I got for the multiplication.
I don't want your answer. I want you to tell me what we're grouping together to multiply.
4.4
4 and 1/10. Good. Times
3 and 7
and 75/100ths.
hundredths, and then for the second one I got 10 to the 4th power times 10 to the 4th power.
Times 10 to the. That's not a 4th. 10 to the 3rd. Okay, so somebody with calculators, help me out. What is 4 and 1/10 times 3 and 75/100ths? I'll wait. I should see every hand up because we all have calculators. Emma, what'd you get?
I got 15 and 375,000.
15 and 375 thousandths times 10. What do we do with the exponents? What do we need to do with the exponents? If they're the same base, we have to. What are we going to do? Go back to the other example. What do we do when we have like bases? Do we multiply the exponents? Do we add the exponents? Do we subtract them? Do we divide them? We add them. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, so we have a problem though. This isn't in scientific notation. How do I get it into scientific notation? Where does the decimal need to be? Between which 2 numbers? Jaden, what do you think? So over here? Huh? Okay. Where are we going to put this decimal? Bree? Yeah, it has to be there. It has to be 1 and 5,375 10,000ths times 10. Okay, Chris, you told me that we moved that decimal to the right. Which way do I have to move this decimal? Okay, so let's use common sense here, guys. If the decimal moves right, we subtract. What happens when the decimal moves to the left? We're going to add. So it's going to be times 10 to the? This is where you say a number. 8! Great job. 7 plus the 1 decimal that got moved is to the 8. Oof. I know it's the last class of the day, guys. I need you to be working with me. You're doing great work at your desk, but I need you to be involved. Okay, last but not least, we are dividing. We take our 4 and 1/10 times 10 to the 4th. We divide it by 3 and 75 hundredths times 10 to the 3rd. And I saw a lot of right answers. I saw a lot of good work. We're going to take this. We take 4 and 1/10 and we divide it by 3 and 75 hundredths times 10 to the 4th divided by 10 to the 3rd. Somebody, anybody with your calculator, please do 4 and 1/10 divided by 3 and 75 hundredths, please. Raise your hands when you have it. Yep. Chris, go ahead. What'd you get? You put it in your calculator?
I have it on the page somewhere.
You'll just plug it back into your calculator real quick. 4.1 divided by 3.75. What'd you get, bud?
1.03 plus 0.093.
Okay, we'll stop there. So 0.93, and it keeps on going probably. So 1.093 times 10. What do we do when we're dividing exponents? Do we add them? Do we subtract them? Do we multiply? Do we divide? Go ahead. We subtract them. 4 minus 3 is 1. Is this in scientific notation? Absolutely. It's at least 1. It's a base of 10. It's an integer. This is what we are doing. You have. So here's how it's breaking down. Today, we went over 9 and 10. We're going to keep going over 9 and 10. On Wednesday, we're going to go over lessons 11 and 13. That means you have homework. Your homework is to watch the 2 videos. Everybody with me? Those of you that didn't watch the videos for today, which are a bunch of you, you should watch those videos. On Friday, we are doing nothing but review. Why? Because the following day when you come back in, which is a Tuesday, you have a test. Everybody with me?